Damn. All right, Rob, it is time. Do we have some music for this, Rob G? It's time for our NFL preseason predictions. That's right. Let's get this party started.
That's right. It's the moment you have all been waiting for. Kickoff is tomorrow night. The Buffalo Bills and the defending champion Los Angeles Rams, but the real season starts now. That's because Chris and Rob will be making their official NFL predictions. But before we go forward...
Are we doing picks Friday?
Yes, we are. Okay. Of course we are. I mean, this is a competitive show, Chris.
I'm defending champion, I know.
Okay, but before we go forward...
Defending my crown.
We got to go back. Looking back at last season's picks. It's called proof of performance, right, Rob Parker?
That's right.
Chris, in the AFC, had 4 of the 7 playoff teams correct. Wow. And in the NFC, had 5. Rob Parker, in the AFC, had 4 teams correct as well. And another 4 in the NFC. So I guess technically, Chris Broussard is winning heading into 2022.
There's no technically. I won.
Alex, really?
Alex, really? Oh, of course. You know how we roll on the eye couple, Rob.
Oh, God, Alex. I just threw up in my mouth.
The bongos must be heard.
And I didn't even need to read the story about the rodents at the Coney Island place in Detroit that got closed down. What? One of the iconic Coney Island hot dog places, Chris, in downtown Detroit, got closed down.
Because of rodents.
Because the neighbors complained of rodents. So, Lafayette, Coney Island, anybody listening on the Roar in Detroit, they know. Chris, it's a famous Coney Island place, hot dog spot. I had a glizzy in my mouth. Not only did I have a glizzy in my mouth, I had rat hair in my mouth. Alex, that wasn't clean, was it?
Oh, my God.
I feel sick.
You can't use that, can you?
Oh,
it wasn't clean.
You know Alex feels sick. And now that he's eating meat again, oh, my God.
I know.
Hey, stop that, see?
All right, let's get back on track. We're going to go through each and every one of the divisions. We're going to pick the winners. If you have a wild card team coming out of the division, let us know in that one as well. But again, I need to know who you're picking to win it, any potential wild card teams, and why. We got the Super Bowl coming up at the end and the MVP award as well. So let's get started in the NFC with the
NFC East.
Chris Broussard.
I got the Dallas Cowboys winning it. And I got the Philadelphia Eagles as a wild card.
I have the Dallas Cowboys winning it despite I don't like their team, but I'm not convinced of the Eagles. I'm just not. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys and the Eagles as a wild card.
Wow. Very chalky for both of you guys to pick the exact same teams, even though yesterday neither one of you liked either one of those teams.
I don't, but I'm just saying out of the two, Jalen Hurts has to. I'm from Missouri. He has to show me. I'm not there.
Okay, we move on to the
NFC West.
Rob Parker.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Rams. I'm sorry.
Why you got the Rams?
By default. The Arizona Cardinals, right, will be missing their best receiver for how long is he suspended?
6 games.
6 games. Hopkins is out. I don't know about Kyler Murray. I know he got his loot and money. He can't stay healthy. The team always seems to fade in the second half. I'm giving it to the Rams by default.
No wild card?
Yeah, I do have the Cardinals as a wild card.
Ooh, wow. All right, I got the Rams winning the division. They're still a very good team. I mean, it's hard to repeat. It's hard to even get back to the Super Bowl after you won it. But so I'm not – we'll see if I'm saying that. But I do think they win the division. I think the division's very obviously weaker than last year. Russell Wilson's gone. Seattle's not going to be very good. I do agree with Rob. I think Arizona is going to fall off a bit. Kyler Murray is not the same quarterback without DeAndre Hopkins. But I've got them falling out of the playoffs. They're 0-6, well, not 0-6, but they're 6 games without Hopkins. And then if they have their typical swoon at the end of the season, that's a lot of losses that they could have. So I got them missing it, but I still got San Francisco making the playoffs. I think They've got that much around Trey Lance, and hey, maybe Trey is replaced by Jimmy G. So I got the Rams in San Francisco as a wild card.
That was perfect, Alex. Thank you. Because playoffs,
I'm surprised that you didn't take the Niners as a wild card team, because I know you don't like Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. So that's
I don't.
Kind of surprising.
But a rookie quarterback who they have question marks. Well, but I mean, first time starter.
Yeah.
That they have question marks of. I just think they just haven't been confident about the whole move, and that bothers me. Even when you're wrong, our teams will just be like, "He's our quarterback. He's our quarterback. We're going to go with him, and that's the end of it." You know what I mean? I was wrong. No, it doesn't happen that often. But.
All right, we keep it moving in the NFC to the
NFC North.
Chris Broussard.
Green Bay. Period. The end. No. I like Minnesota. I'm tempted to put them in as a wild card. I think them and Philly will be battling, and heck, maybe San Francisco as well. But I'm gonna keep the Vikings out. Just go with the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna be fine. I think he makes Allen Lazard, shine a little brighter than he has over the past few years. I think they're going to be fine. I think that Green Bay wins this division handily.
I agree. Packers, their defense is top 5. Just look at, I know people talk about Aaron Rodgers, but their defense is top 5. They're going to have the defense. They run the football, and I know, the loss of Devontae Adams is a big one for a lot of people. And you can't replace a guy like that. But somehow they were 7-0 without him. The last 7 games they played.
Is that what it is? 7-0?
And 9, Rob G, 9 out of the last 10.
9 out of 10 and 7 in a row.
And 7 in a row, Chris. Like a ridiculous number. So I'm not saying they're going to repeat that and win every game. But I like them easily. But I'm going to go with the Vikings. I'm going to go with the Vikings as a wild card. So those two teams, because that division with the Bears and a new coach and a questionable quarterback, and we know the Lions, even if they doubled their win total from a year ago, Chris, they'd have 6 wins. So,
I like the Lions, and they're the way they're getting better. But you're right, they're not going to make the playoffs.
All right, next one. Rob Parker's out of wild card teams. We finish off the NFC with the
NFC South.
Rob Parker.
It's the Bucs by default again.
Wow.
I just don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I know the Saints. A lot of people are high on the Saints. I'm just gonna wait until the Bucs totally collapse or Tom Brady's pulverized by that weak offensive line. But I'm just gonna go by default because the Saints will have to show me, and the rest of the division is not that good.
I am going with New Orleans to win the division.
Wow. That's
the
a shocker
defense
there.
is one of the best in football. And my goodness, have you seen the weapons around Jameis Winston? Guy named Michael Thomas. Remember him? Led the league in
3 years ago. I do remember him.
receptions. Still young, though. Still young. Got a lot to prove. Chris Olave from Ohio State. Nice receiver. Alvin Kamara in the backfield. I mean, my goodness. Jameis is going to have a field day. He is my dark horse MVP candidate. And I think they win the division. I think they win the division. And I think Tampa Bay reaches the playoffs as a wild card.
Okay, the NFC is done. Heads up, guys. In 17 of the last 19 seasons, the team has gone worst to first. Neither one of you guys picked the worst to first team in the NFC. So we'll see if that changes here in the AFC, where we get it started with the
AFC East.
Chris Broussard.
Buffalo. Buffalo is all that in a bag of chips, y'all. I mean, had the top-ranked defense, whether you can argue whether you think it was the best, but it was the top-ranked defense in terms of scoring, passing in the NFL last year. And, they just go out and add Von Miller. Offensively, the Josh Allen's coming off, Rob. One of the greatest, it was only 2 games, but my goodness, what he did in the playoffs was out of this world. And I think that's just going to give him more confidence. I know they lost Brian Daboll. A lot of people are saying, they're not going to be the same. He was the offensive coordinator, now coaching the Giants. But Ken Dorsey, who's been the quarterback coach there for the last 3 seasons, he's going to be the offensive coordinator. So I don't think they'll skip a beat with him there. So I like Buffalo and no wild card. I almost went with the Dolphins. I really like the Dolphins. I think Tua's got the weapons. I talked about Jameis. Tua's got tons of weapons around him. But the AFC is so deep, I don't have them making the playoffs.
I have the New York Jetropolitans winning the division. Joe Flacco doesn't give up the quarterback spot. He will start the first 4 games, and the Jets will turn this thing around and win the division. No, I'm not serious.
I was about to say.
I was typing the headline right now.
I was about to say this. So if you want to, I'm dead serious. If the Jets win the division, no bet, I will buy you a new pair of Jordans.
No.
No. If they don't, you don't have to give me anything. That's how I was like, this can't be right.
Okay. The Bills. I don't need to go into all the other stuff. But I do have a shocker. I do have the Dolphins making the playoffs.
No, it's not a shocker.
Finished strong last year.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
And they improved, and I think offensively. So I do have the Dolphins in the playoffs.
We could have went viral there, Rob. Way to go.
I know.
All right.
He would have went viral, all right.
Yeah, viral, and then they would have said he doesn't know anything about football.
Right, exactly.
It's okay. Exactly. We move on to the
AFC South.
Rob Parker.
Who's in the South? The Colts, right? What do I have? Yes. Indianapolis Colts by default again. That's a kind of a throwaway division. They did have a good defense. And maybe if they've finally, Matt Ryan is their quarterback. Finally, is that an upgrade compared to what they've had? So we'll see. They've had like 5 quarterbacks in the last 5 years, Rob G. It's been a mess. So here's Matt Ryan. I'm going to pick the Colts.
Yeah, I know we're running up against it. I got the Colts as well. I like the defense. Matt Ryan is still a good quarterback. I think it's an upgrade. I think they're going to be the class of that division. Titans, I think, will be good. But I hope I'm not right. I think Derrick Henry might not be quite as good as he was last year or the year before.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I got the Titans in the postseason. Right? I need to give you my wild card. Titans.
Yep.
Sorry.
Dolphins and Titans now for Rob's wild card teams. We keep it moving to the AFC to the
AFC West.
Chris Broussard.
I got Kansas City winning it. I got Denver second, and I got the Chargers third. So I got 3 teams out of this division, similar to NFC West last year, making the playoffs.
I have Denver winning the division.
Ooh.
And I have the Chiefs making the postseason as a wild card.
Wow,
so Rob's got it worse to first.
You aren't picking the Chargers.
I don't have the Chargers making the playoffs.
I know. I'm shocked. Wow.
All right, let's wrap it up. The AFC with the
AFC North.
Chris Broussard.
Baltimore wins it. Cincinnati makes the playoffs.
I have Baltimore winning the division. And I have the Bengals missing the playoffs. I don't have any more wild cards, right, Rob?
Nope. You had Dolphins, Titans, Chiefs.
Yes, I have the Bengals, which have happened to teams like this before, where they're great. They got Joe Burrow has the appendix. I just don't know where he is. I think they missed the playoffs this year.
And technically, the Ravens would be a worse to first team if they both win that division.
Yes.
They were tied with the Browns last season. All right, before we get to Super Bowl, quickly, MVP picks, starting with Chris Broussard.
Josh Allen. I'm a believer.
Aaron Rodgers wins his 3rd straight.
Wow.
He joins Brett Favre, who won 3 straight for the Packers, when the Packers win 14 games without Devontae Adams.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the moment we will be judged on for the next 4 months. It is the
Super Bowl.
Rob Parker.
The Packers over the Ravens in the Super Bowl, and the monkey gets off of Aaron Rodgers' back, and the defense leads the way.
Not a bad pick, Rob. Not a bad pick at all. But I am going with Buffalo over the Green Bay Packers. I think my Packers pick probably shocked you.
No,
because I have been hard on Rodgers in the NFC title game. But I think the NFC is down. It's hard to get back. So the Rams, and I do think, to your point, I think Rodgers gets over a hump in that he gets to the Super Bowl, but I think Buffalo gets them once they get there. But only thing that scares me about Buffalo, Rob, is they are they're such a favorite. You know what I mean? Like, so many people are
too overwhelming. That
it
things
is
like that.
bit,
if that was the case, Chris, everybody would run to Vegas and put all their money down, and it doesn't work like that. We saw last year that slump. Remember, they couldn't score. Remember how bad they were?
No,
for
they
about
weren't
4
great
games?
in the regular season,
right?
I mean, they were good. They won 11 games, but they weren't. The playoffs is where they were playing well. But So I got them. But those are our picks.